everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today we are going to be doing a video on the Fusion/XYZ event. Now, if you've watched this channel before, and possibly you're a returning viewer, you know one deck I absolutely love. Cyber Dragon. And what does Cyber Dragon love to do most? Fusion Summon and XZ Summon. So you can probably guess what we're going to use in this event. We're using a very similar list to what we did in a video a couple of weeks ago, where we took Cyber Dragons to ladder with the new Clockwork Knight. So let's see how it can take on this event. Let me show you the deck list, then we'll go through some games. So if you've watched my Cyber Dragon deck profile already, this is a very similar list, so I'll give you a timestamp in the comments to skip past this deck review. But all you need to know is that I've added some Ash Blossoms and removed a couple of cards to make room for that. But we'll do a quick card by card just for everyone who hasn't seen that video. So we're running 2 Hers. We usually run 3, but because we had to cut one for Ash Blossom, it was worth it. You don't really need to see 3. The reason we run Ash Blossom in this and not on ladder is because decks are a little bit more fragile without link monsters, so I feel like it's more worth it here, but you can probably just run the old list. We run 1 Nashter because you only really want 1 of them, you never really want to see 2. 3 Maxi, that's obvious, every deck should be using this. Cyber Dragon Core is your normal summon, lets you search any of the spells. Pretty mandatory for Cyber Dragon list. 1 Chimera to search out your power bond by using the Cyberduck Realm, which you can also search off your core as well, so it's a very easy 1-turn kill. 2 Cyber Dragons because we do still run machine duplication. 2 Galaxy Soldier, 2 easily summonable level 5s. And then Therion King Regulus to search off the Clockwork Knight's effect when it's in the grave, but also it's just a generically good card anyway. We have a couple of going second cards like Harpy's Feather Duster, really good considering that some decks, there are some burn decks in this format like I played in the last event, so it's good for those and in general, but same with Change of Heart, it's just a good going second card. Machine Duplication will let you summon the 2 Cyber Dragons. Be careful not to use it after using Clockwork Knight because the only target will be hers, and you usually want to be using it on your core. We have the Power Bond to search off the Chimera, the Overload Fusion because it's Overload Fusion, pretty mandatory, Cyber Emergency to search your Cyber Dragons, Repair Plant to search out your Light Machines, which could either be which is usually the Galaxy Soldier, Cyber Rev System since it's just Monster Reborn but slightly better. And then we have Lightning Storm, 1 copy because we don't want to see 2. Been through the Cyberduck Realm, Clockwork Knight, which is an amazing card. Check out my last video on this deck list to see the true potential of this. Turns all monsters into machines, then you can contact fuse everything. 3 Duality, since it's amazing in Cyber Dragon, you can use any level 5 to go into either your Rampage Dragon or even use the Rampage Dragon to go into Panzer Dragon. We have 3 impermanents as well, since decks are really fragile here, and it's a good going second card in general anyway. Now the only change we've made to this deck in the extra deck is the Panzer Dragon. This isn't usually here, it's usually the Sieger, but because we can't run links, we chuck that in as well. So we have the Panzer Dragon, we also have 2 Chimera Tech Rampage, 1 Twin Dragon to go off the Fortress Dragon, we have 3 of the Fortress Dragon for the Clockwork Knight, we have the End Dragon so that we can use Duality on the Mega Fleet Dragon, which is amazing removal by itself, but then you can beat down with 4000 attack, and then 2 Nova and 2 Infinity, plus a Zeus. Honestly, if you've seen Cyber Dragons before, this is a pretty standard list, but I'll look for any excuse to play Cyber Dragons again. Let's jump into some games. So jumping into game 1, let's see what we're up against. We've got a good hand, but unfortunately they made us go first. We're going to be using the Cyber Dragon Core, normal summoning that, and it's going to get ashed. That's fine by us. Honestly, that's not so fine when he changed the Max C to it. Luckily we don't have too much follow-up. I mean, we could Power Bond here, but really, what's the point? It's just going to get beaten over anyway. We'll just set the impermanence and pass turn. Let's see what this guy's running. Looks like he's on Pearly. Luckily we have the impermanence for the Pearly, which should stop him in his tracks. It does. He sets 1 and passes back to us. So luckily we still have our core, so we can use our Power Bond here, using the Cyber Dragon in hand and the core to go into the Rampage Dragon. Activate the Rampage Dragon to try and pop the back row, but it's called by the grave. It's going to get our core. Not too bad, I think we're going to kill this turn anyway. Let's send 2 to the grave, and he realizes he is dead. So Pearly in this event is quite fragile, and this deck is really punishing against fragile decks. So if you watched last week's video on what I used to cheese the last event, you'll understand immediately what this guy's deck is. He's going first, which isn't bad for us, but he's going to set a monster, set 2 spells and traps, and activate Toll. It's Burn. Luckily, this event has a lot less restrictions. We're just going to normal summon Nashor and use Machine Duplication to bring out the 2 Cyber Dragons, using those 2 Cyber Dragons to overlay for a Cyber Dragon Nova. Now we use its effect like a fool to increase its attack and get rid of the Nashor. We'll pay 500 to attack into the Self-Destruct, and which will burn us both for 1,000 and then burn me for 1,000. Luckily, main phase 2, I'll just go straight into an Infinity here, and then into Zeus since we attacked with an XYZ. And we're just going to pop its effect, get rid of that back row. Let's see what he had. He had a Magic Cylinder and a Gravedigger's Trap Hole. Not sure why I didn't use the Cylinder. I'm going to set a Forbidden Droplet. He's going to set 1, and in the end phase we'll just pop the Zeus to get rid of the Skull Invitation and our Droplet. Not too shabby. Pretty empty board, but we draw into Cyber Repair Plant. We can use it to grab the Hers, using the Galaxy Soldier to pitch the Hers to special summon the Galaxy Soldier, chaining 1 Soldier, chaining 2 Hers to add a Cyber Dragon from deck or grave, and then add a Galaxy Soldier to hand. If you've played Cyber Dragon before, you know exactly where this is going. We'll use the Galaxy Soldier pitching the Cyber Dragon we added to get another level 5 for Nova. Going into Nova here, we can use its actual effect that I wanted to use previously, which is to special summon a Cyber Dragon. We'll go into Infinity as well, just in case he has a Battle Fader, switch everything to attack, and we might as well BM a little bit by duality into Chimera Tech, but he realises he's big dead. Yeah, burn this event is not as good as last event. There's so many less restrictions, and trust me, I tried. So going into game 3, we're going first once again. For some reason, people love to go second in this event. Now this is quite a rough hand. We literally set 2 imperms and pass, because really there's nothing we can do. We might be able to summon Galaxy Soldier, but... Right, so he special summons Jester Comfort, so I think it's Burn. But then he normal summons Lyrilusk Turquoise Warbler. So we're just going to go into Maxi, just in case he XEs here, but he's going to look at my hand with triple tactics and shuffle back the Galaxy Soldier. Pretty sad day for me, but at least we get to draw some off Maxi. He's summoning the Restful Starling, and he's going to use his effect. I'll just imperm that, since we've got 2. Looks like this is all he's got, so we might as well pop it here. And that'll do it. He's going to try and activate effect by detaching 1 and also setting 1 card face down, but that will do nothing. We drew into a Hers off the Maxi and a Change of Heart. I feel that Change of Heart might be useful. We're going to use the Nashor's effect, discarding the Hers to special summon it and grab a Cyber Dragon from deck to hand. We're going to use the Change of Heart, the Restful Starling, and just attack with both of these. Now we're going to save the Cyber Dragon. We could tribute summon it. We're going to go into Zeus here, but yeah, we'll save the Cyber Dragon just in case he can get through this Zeus somehow. I mean, that's basically all I've got. He does have a Raigeki and an Imperm, so he's going to block off the Imperm, not that matters, and then use the Raigeki on these here. I could have changed Imperm, could have changed Zeus, but it wouldn't have done anything. He's going to set 1 face down. Now, I'm very glad I held into the Cyber Dragon here. Machine Duplication will do nothing for us, but we'll special summon the Cyber Dragon and just attack into the face down monster and let him go for turn. Luckily, we still have 1 Imperm set, so we do have some interaction here. He's got the Lightning Storm off the top, destroying our Cyber Dragon, which is a shame. No Core Engrave, so we can't even special summon if he had a monster. And we drew into Clockwork Knight. That's not going to do anything, so we're just going to sit back and hope he draws into something so we can do something. Nope, he got nothing. Back onto us, we draw a Cyber Emergency. That's going to be able to let us start our plays. Let's grab the Cyber Dragon Core from deck to hand and grab and activate the Cyber Dragon Core, adding the Rev System. Let's use the Rev System to bring back the Nashor, activating the Nashor's effect because it was special summon to bring back the Cyber Dragon. Use Machine Duplication on the core to bring out the last Cyber Dragon in deck, and then overlay for a Nova. We can now... I was going to say we can now use Nova's effect, but he gave up. There was probably another turn in there, but good game. So we usually only do 3 games, but this matchup was too funny to me, so I had to include it. So he's going first, which is perfect. We don't have a great hand. He's going to activate the Mist Valley, pitching the Regulus. He's going to activate Regulus from, or special summon Regulus from Grave, and then activate Heavy forward. Now, as soon as I see this card, I realise we're going against Earth Machine. Now, if you know what our contact fuse does, You'll know why this is such a good matchup. He adds Infinitrack Harvester to hand. He's then going to use the Flourishing Hills to pitch the Harvester to grave, and then add Awakening Forests. He's going to special the Harvester from grave, adding the Anchor Drill to hand. He's then going to use the Awakening Forests, I need to double check the names, to pitch one and then go into the Anchor Drill. He's brought out another King Regulus, and he's going to make these two level 12 and these two as well. So he's going to go into the Super Dreadnought and also a raw Zeus. Like, he didn't even attack, but that is just a straight up level 12 Zeus. He's got the third King Regulus, and he's going to use its effects to special it. So he's got an Omni Negate, a Protection, and a Zeus. But we're just going to special summon Cyber Dragon. Now, he's going to use this to make it unaffected, and then use Zeus. He did it in the wrong order here, so I'm just going to let him do that. And that will all go to the grave. Luckily, we have the other Cyber Dragon, and we're just going to contact fuse those off for a Chimera Tech Fortress. And now we can just do Galaxy Soldier, hers, and we saw this play in the previous game, where we add a Cyber Dragon, back to hand, add a Galaxy Soldier, and yeah, he's dead. Now, even if he had protected that Super Dreadnought, I was just going to contact fuse it off anyway, so it didn't matter at all. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments what you used for this event. Did you use a cheesy burn strategy like I did last week? Or did you do something more in the spirit of things, like Cyber Dragon? As always, if you made it this far in the video, please do feel free to hit subscribe. New Yu-Gi-Oh videos each week. And as always, happy dueling. You were dealt a bad